Do you live in a dorm or have a tiny little kitchenette? Are you in a hotel room and want to make your own meals? You absolutely can make nutritious and delicious meals without a kitchen. You can use appliances that you have laying around. I'm talking about microwaves, electric kettles, crockpots. I'm talking about minimal ingredients with minimal mess. In summary, no kitchen, no problem. Let's get started. Life can be a struggle, but a good meal doesn't have to be. We can make creative, nutritious, and inventive dishes that won't break the bank. Welcome to Struggle Meals. I often talk about living in the future, but the truth is we've been living in the future since the microwave came out. It's been decades. Even if you don't have a full kitchen, you most likely have one of these guys. And I'm gonna show you how to make breakfast, lunch, and dinner with only a microwave. Start with breakfast. I'm making a crustless quiche. This is one of those things texturally that's perfect for a microwave. I'm gonna come in with a tiny bit of cream. This could very well be a little bit of creamer from a coffee bar. Coming in with a tiny bit of cheese. Got a few slices of ham here. A little bit of spinach because I have it. Again, not something I would just go out and buy if I'm making a microwaved meal. I'm more thinking about the salad bar at the cafeteria or something like that. Just a little bit of accoutrement. Let's whisk it up. Crushing those eggs. A little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt. For those two things, I'm imagining the little paper packets of salt and pepper. You know what I'm talking about. And now, the magical power of the microwave will do its work. 3 minutes. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, coming in. All right. This looks good to me. If anything, the microwave gives this some fluff and pizzazz. That is really good. It is glorious, it is epic. A superior breakfast made in a microwave. I'm so happy. This is only 93 cents, which means you won't find it on a dollar menu because it costs less than $1. It's lunchtime, and that means microwave mug pizza. You heard right, the soft texture of the dough is gonna be great. It's gonna remind you of grandma's pies. That worked. All right, this is pre-made pizza crust. Let's get some discs happening here. I'm gonna put roll number 1 in the bottom of the mug. And this is some tomato sauce. So how did I get this? It could be extra dipping sauce for mozzarella sticks. It might be 2 ice cubes of frozen tomato sauce from the last time I made tomato sauce. You'll figure it out, I have faith in you. I got baby pepperoni. I've got a little bit of cheese. I'm just gonna break it up with my hands. Gonna hit it with a little bit of salt. Gonna hit it with a little bit of pepper. And I happen to have some oregano, but make it the herb of your choice. Oregano. Package drawer for some hot pepper. All right, I'm just gonna use half here because we're gonna put some on the second layer. A little bit of oil of olive. Dough going in. Getting a little secret sauce. Some pepperoni, a little bit of cheese, a little pepper, a little salt. Rest of our red pepper flakes. Tiny bit of olive oil. And you know what? I'm actually gonna put like even the thinnest little piece of cheese more since this is the top. Into the microwave, 3 minutes. I will now play for you the world premiere of the song that I wrote about the microwave. Oh, microwave, I don't know how you work, but I really like what you birth. You were the first kitchen tool that I ever used, microwave. 3 seconds to pizza, 2 seconds to pizza, 1 second to pizza. Pizza! Here we go. Come to Don Frankie. It is supreme. Pizza mug comes in at 93 cents, and the lowest priced pizza I've ever seen in my life is $1, and they use inferior ingredients. It's time for dinner. I assume you want something warm, something nourishing. How about a chicken pot pie? This is the perfect vessel to make that in a microwave. Starting with a little bit of chicken broth here. I'm going with 3 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna add a little bit of cream to that, mix it around, and this is gonna heat up in the microwave for just a minute. Microwaving broth, ba-ba-ba-ba. Microwaving broth, ba-ba-ba-ba. All right, we have some hot liquid. So this recipe is for those of you with a kitchenette, a tiny little kitchen, but a kitchen that actually has some ingredients in it. So let's start with a little bit of cornstarch here, boom, and we're gonna mix it up. So it's important when you don't have a measuring device that whatever you use, you keep using so there is some constant. I am using 3 heels of the fork. And just make sure that that's fully incorporated. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, coming in with some onion powder. All right, putting in the chicken. Could be leftover chicken. Peas and carrots. These can be straight from the freezer. Lifting again, trying to get the bottom to the top. You know, weirdly, just because you might not have a full kitchen, you probably still have the opportunity to grow your own herbs, and I encourage you to do so. I'm gonna put some parsley in. I always thought parsley was good in like a hot soup, wintry, nighttime kind of dish. All right, let's put the parsley leaves in. I'm gonna put them in whole like this. I'm gonna give it one more stir. So there's our chicken pot part. Now we gotta get the pie part. Again, this could be anything. It could be a croissant roll. It could be unbaked rolls of bread. Wow. I'm gonna give it a little bit of a design. 6 minutes. Waiting on pot pie. Faking a pot pie. Bah, bah, bah. Microwave pot pie. Ooh, it just exploded. Ooh, there is some serious height happening. Can I take a little peek? Can I show you? Maybe, look at the top. Release valve, quick. Everything is fine, put it back in. Waiting for pot pie, bah, bah. Okay, woohoo, definitely smells good. Ooh, you know, it's cooked, that's dry. Look at that, let's create a little steam valve here. Here we go. Look inside the pot pie. Very nice on the inside. I'm gonna give this a little stir. Oh, enchanting, glorious, epic. Chicken pot pie in a mug. It's $1.21. We made it in a microwave. Flavor-wise, 100% toe-to-toe with a real pot pie. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, there it is. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner made in a microwave. Real food that was not pre-frozen and reheated. The microwave is more than just a reheating appliance. That is the point that I am driving home right now. But we can cook food with other appliances besides the microwave that aren't meant for the kitchen also. Here we go. An eighth of a teaspoon is a baby pinch, and a quarter of a teaspoon is 2. Half of a teaspoon is the half dome of a nickel, and a $0.25, it's a teaspoon, true. And what if I told you that the bottom of a soda can, when it's full, the bottom of a soda can, well, it's the same as a tablespoon, put out your hand. Yeah, and a cup is a cup, and a glass is a cup, and a mug is a cup. Can you see what's up? You do not need to buy traditional measuring utensils, my friend. It's time for a Kettle couscous salad. That means all we need is hot water for this fantastic dish. So you could use a kettle, you could use a coffee pot, and if you don't have either of those, I'm sure you could ask for hot water at most places that have water. So here we go, we got our couscous. Couscous is pasta. It's just little bits of semolina rolled up. And because it's so small, all you really have to do is soak it in hot water. That's it, it's cooked. Hot water's ready. Couscous is a nourishing and glorious type of food. I'm gonna go with a little bit of salt in here because I always like salt dissolving in water. That just needs 5 minutes. Let's make a quick little dressing, okay? A little bit of lemon coming in. To the package drawer for some honey. If you can't find a packet of honey, think coffee bar. Any sweeteners at the coffee bar you could go with. Here's some curry powder. I'm using curry powder because it's really flavorly, very dense, but you could use any spice you want, obviously. And some olive oil. Ain't no dressing without some oil. Should we taste? A little bit of salt. And I'm gonna go with a little more lemon. We have a nice little dressing. All right, here we have some almonds. Come in with my little paring knife that I always travel with, my paring knife. And here comes some dried cherries. And what I want you to see here is that these can be any nuts, and these can be any dried fruit. I'm gonna hit it up with a little bit of parsley. Here we have our couscous. Look at how magically it has turned into something that is fluffy. While it's still nice and warm, let's pour our dressing. Get our dried cherries in here. Here I've got almonds. Let's get our parsley in there. Let's mix this around. All right, bowl. Coming in. This comes to $1.45 per serving, and I can feed 5 people. All I needed was hot water. All right, we have a nourishing and marvelous looking bowl of couscous. The ingredient count is very, very low, and you can swap out whatever ingredients your heart desires or whatever you have in your pantry. This is essentially a blueprint for a recipe, and you don't need a kitchen, which makes this perhaps the easiest and most accessible struggle meal we have ever made. All you need is hot water. you can find hot water. You can make this couscous. We've used a microwave, we've used hot water. Soon we're gonna use a crock pot, but first, a challenge. And now it's time for a struggle challenge. I've got limited funds and an iron. What can I make? When I think of an iron, immediately I think of a panini press. So you can definitely press a sandwich. As far as limited funds go, how little are we talking about? And what food do you have? Let's find out. No food. The answer is no food. There's no food. 3 bones, tin foil, and an iron. All right, so I don't have any food, but I have money. Money buys food. And we've got this, which is a press, and we can wrap whatever we make in foil. We're leaving the struggle kitchen, we're going to the market, and we're seeing how far we can stretch these $3. Come on. All right, I got $3. Let's see what we can do in this store. Let's see what we got in the bread department. $3.75, can't afford it. $4 over here, this is still outside. Man, if there were a way to just like have a slice or 2, that would be great. But here we are on the cheese aisle, let's take a look. These are big blocks. Anything pre-sliced? These are all fancy cheeses, forget it. So what about sliced meats? Here they are. We got the turkey, we got the ham. The problem is the prices, they're too high. You know, it hasn't really occurred to me till now how efficient we are with money on this show. Holy smokes. How you doing?
Hey, good, how are you?
I'm looking to spend like under $2 on some sliced meat and cheese.
Okay.
All right, okay, so the most affordable stuff's down here?
Yeah.
Let's see what like 3 slices looks like.
3 slices?
Yeah,
okay.
please.
How's that?
I think it's beautiful.
Okay.
I think it's beautiful. $1.43. Okay, that's almost 50% of my budget. I think I'm gonna get the rest at the salad bar.
All right, here you go.
Rock and roll, elbow pound. Still very much having a problem with the bread situation. So now I'm looking at pastries and bagels. This could be good. We got $1.25 for a bagel. We could do a bagel sandwich. I'm just gonna go classic sesame. $2.68 I'm at. So I can get 32 cents more of stuff. Maybe a couple shreds of Parmesan cheese? How about some spinach or arugula or something? All right.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well.
Great.
I'm hoping this is under $3.
Well, I hope so too. 125 and 143.
And here it is, the moment of truth.
Let's go right here. 30 cents. Your total is 298.
I did it. You made my day, Renee.
You
298? Oh my God. This is amazing. 1, 2, 3. Boom.
And you get 2 cents back at ya.
All right. We've got our turkey, our cheese, our bagel, and an extra 2 cents. Pretty pumped about that. Can save that money for later. A quick recap, the bagel was expensive, the turkey was expensive, almost my entire budget was completely exhausted, so all I had left was for very, very light ingredients at the salad bar. When I went with the spinach and cheese, I was hoping that the total weight would be lighter than the flap of a butterfly's wings. And I was right, so extra flavor is gonna have to happen in the form of packet drawer, mustard mayo, and butter. That's it. All right, here we are, classic dorm room preparation. We've got the bagel. Since we only have a tiny bit of turkey and even less cheese, we gotta get some moisture in there. So I'm throwing in some mayo. Coming in with the turkey. I'm thinking I'll put the spinach first and then the cheese on top of that so the cheese can melt over the spinach and kind of glue it in place. Getting some mustard on the other side. Oh, look at that. Divine. Bagel top going on. Back in the mid-90s when I would start my school day off with a TBB with B, toasted butter bagel with bacon, the outside of the bagel always was buttered. So we're gonna do that today. When you put things like butter on the outside of a bagel, it actually helps heat transfer. Nice and tight, coming under, coming under. Here we go. Oh, yes. I'm gonna put on the piggy timer. Time to flip it. All right, the moment of truth. Here we go, the moment. Da-da-da, ba-da-ba. Oh, beautiful, really nice. Hey, hey, hey. Let's cut this in half. All right, It's a pretty nice looking sandwich for $2.98. Let's take a bite. It's pretty good. It's not bad. I'm into it. The bagel is tasty. The butter on the outside with the toasted sesame, very, very nice. And I made it without a kitchen. I used a freaking iron. I mean, you know, how high can the expectations be? So on looks, I would say it's like a 9 out of 10 on looks. And flavor, I'm gonna give it, let's go with like a 7 out of 10. I wish I had a little more budget for more accoutrement. I didn't have it. It's not the end of the world. The packager saved us there. But overall, this comes to a 16 out of 20, which is 80%. So I think this challenge was really great. No kitchen, small budget. Can we make something? The answer is yes. There's really only 3 parts to this: vehicle, bread, passenger, some kind of meat, and then baggage, depending on how much money you have left over. You can do it. Be inventive, have fun, struggle on. Piggy, I told you no snacks. No kitchen, no problem. Today I'm using the Crockpot like a baby oven. I know what you're thinking, Frankie, I do the Crockpot all the time. I love making stews, but I'm not making a stew. Nay, we're using this Crockpot to make coffee cake. That's right, we can use this as a baby oven. Let's start with our dry ingredients. I've never been the best baker because baking is about exact measurements. And this guy right here, he doesn't like that. He's all about, do the right amount of stuff. The other reason I'm not great at baking is because I don't own measuring cups or measuring spoons. What I do have is this mug. And honestly, there is wiggle room on the measurements of this dish because this is a very moist environment and there's leeway, there's play, there's forgiveness in this recipe and in this cooking device. So I would say just stick with something, keep using it, have a constant for whatever your cup is. Oh, okay, going for the sugar. Brown sugar! Teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of baking soda. Teaspoon of salt, AKA the heel of a spoon of salt. Coming in with the struggle whisk. This one's small. This is the struggle whisk 5500. And we have dry ingredients that are all done. Let's set this aside. All right, 2/3 oil, 1 1/3 milk, and 2 eggs. Lord, give me strength. Yes. Whisk. Okay, that's nice. Let's mix the wet with the dry. The divinity of this marriage will begin, and together they will create an epic and dazzling cake. Ooh, dual whisks. I have to say, this is looking like the right consistency of something that is baked. When I kind of throw the batter onto itself, it sort of holds that shape for a second. About half a cup brown sugar, a teaspoon of cinnamon. Take the back end of the spoon here, break this up. All right, so this actually smells a lot like coffee cake because this is what coffee cake is made out of. But the crazy thing is, coffee cake doesn't have coffee in it. I think you just drink coffee with this cake. I'm very excited about our little oven here. A little more vegetable oil on a paper towel. We're gonna come around the sides like this. So we're going half, all the sugar. Just trying to spread it out pretty evenly because this is not something you can really like mix out with a spoon, obviously. Batter again. Yes. Very good. Oh, look at these ribbons of coffee cake. So this is gonna cook in here now. If I just go straight with the top, we're gonna probably have a soggy cake because we're gonna get all this condensation coming up and then we're gonna have storms throughout the evening. But if we use a tea towel, nay, a coffee towel, then all that condensation will absorb into the coffee towel and not fall back down as rain. It will escape as water throughout the sides. So there's no oven needed. We can cook it all in this crock pot. And we're saving money on energy because we're just heating a fine little area inside the pot. An oven heats a lot. It's very inefficient. But what we do need is patience, because this is gonna take 2.5 hours. But I promise you it's gonna be worth it. Cake is almost done. Let's make a little fast icing. Powdered sugar. Boom, 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 ba, 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 ba. Just a dibble of vanilla. Milk just to bring it together. Very nice. It's looking like icing. Miraculous. I've let the coffee cake cool a little bit. Let's pull it out. Ta-da! Enchanting. Look at this. Oh, yes. It smells great. The density seems exactly where it should be for this type. Let's try it. Ha-ha! Look at the sugar layer. Ooh, you can see that it rose up the side faster than the middle. This is like the fossil record of the coffee cake, no joke. Douse it with a little bit of our syrup here. Oh, yes. I'm gonna get 8 servings out of this, but this piece right here, 27 cents. Ooh. Who knew that a Crockpot could deliver a marvelous, miraculous coffee cake? And I didn't even need a real oven. So if you're a dorm room person or someone with a little kitchenette, bust out your Crockpot and make the most moist and delicious coffee cake the world has ever seen. So you guys have been asking for recipes that don't require a kitchen, and today is the deliverance of those demands. We made breakfast, lunch, and dinner with just a microwave, a delicious couscous for 5 people with only hot water, and coffee cake in a crock pot. That's ingenuity. I say no kitchen, no problem. Welcome to Frankie's Corner, where I answer your questions. When it comes to buying kitchen appliances, do you keep the budget low and buy what's cheapest? Or do you save up and splurge for something more pricey? This is a great question. The answer isn't so simple, but cheap stuff tends not to last a really long time. That doesn't mean it doesn't have its place. Affordable appliances enable us to understand if using them and the dishes that they make are something that we will do for the rest of our life. If the answer is yes, then yeah, you should buy something a little more expensive, because it can last decades. You can even hand it down to other people. The value sometimes is in the more expensive appliance, but that's only if you use it. You could also go online and buy a more expensive item from someone secondhand, or you could buy a refurbished item. I do this all the time. Sometimes they're even better than the new ones because they've been hand inspected and repaired. Plus, you can save big on them.